Hello again, everybody, and welcome to my painting update for Monday, the 10th of July, 2017. This is a kind of a special episode. It's my 11th episode, and if you don't know that reference, you should turn in your nerd credentials. Anyway, I'm going to show you a few miniatures that I've finished painting. You can see here 6 of the Achtung Cthulhu minis, and in the background a Reaper mini. The front, these all look pretty dark, don't they? The front 3 here are the Nachtwölfe, who use a kind of semi-magical technology based on a kind of blue crystals they've uncovered from Atlantis. And in the back we have the Black Sun officers, the Schwarze Sonne. Now, these are also dark, but I've painted them a different dark color. I mean, they're all dressed in black, essentially, but black is boring to paint. It doesn't look good. So, with the Black Sun, I've used the same color scheme as I used for the Black Sun Troopers I showed you last week, namely that it's actually a very, very dark turquoise. While for the Nachtwölfe, I've gone with a very dark blue-gray instead. And hopefully they don't just disappear on the tabletop as dark blobs. Hopefully you can see what they are. And here's the final one, the Force user. This miniature was the Reaper Chupacabra chowing down on a goat that he's killed, I assume. Now nobody knows what a Chupacabra looks like. It's a myth, after all. So I just kind of fooled around with some colors until I got something that looked neat. Also completed were 2 groups of Blind Beggar miniatures. First off, we have the so-called Yeti Hunters, which, well, you know, they're warmly dressed and they're equipped with mostly guns. One of them, for some reason, only carrying an axe, though. And they have these snowy bases. I tried to experiment. It was kind of a failure. I'm not saying it looks bad, but first off, I use my normal snow effects, which is a kind of snow powder I bought from, I think it's Gale Force 9. And then I tried that new bottle of some sort of snow thing from Vallejo, and I added that on top of some of the edges of this. And you can't really tell. It just disappears into it. It looks exactly the same. So I shouldn't have mixed them. I should have put them next to each other to see if there was any difference between the 2 products. I'm gonna have to do that next time I do a snow base, just to see, just for the experiment. But you know, they look good. And finally, the last stuff I'm going to show you finished this week is the crew. Who are just some sort of, I don't know, early 20th century, late 19th century dudes. I tried to show that they belong together by giving them all red scarves, except this kid who isn't wearing a scarf, so I gave his undershirt a red color instead. And yeah, not much to say about these really. They're the usual speed painted jobs. Let's move on to what's not finished. Of the stuff that I started last week, I have only 4 minis left that are not finished. We have the Gug here, who is he's gotten some base coats, at least, and some rough highlights. I've just been slopping down some paint. I don't really have a good idea yet of what he's going to be, but I'll figure it out. And then we have the final 3 of currently of my collection of Achtung Cthulhu minis, which are some allied investigator types. And they're nearly done. I mean, quite a lot of this is finished. I'll probably finish at least these 3 later today. I mean, I'm filming this early in the morning and posting it, so which is what I usually do. So I'll have some time later and finish them up. Maybe the GUG as well. Not sure, but they're well on the way anyway. So I've started some new projects to fill the time. And here's the next batch of stuff that's been prepped and primed. And up front you can see the Hound of Tyndalos, the other hound, I forget what he's called, and newcomer. I didn't show you this one last week, I think. This is the Shadow Hound by Reaper. It's a Bones mini. It's clear plastic. Well, not clear. It's translucent purple, which I'm going to try to do something interesting with. And here in the back row we have the final 10 Blind Beggar miniatures that I own. I'm finishing up that collection in the coming week. Probably this will all get done. On my work table we have these 2 little steampunky miniatures that have been prepped. They're just about ready to be primed. I'll prime them tomorrow, or maybe later today. We'll see. There's no particular reason for picking these out at the moment, but I just felt like painting them. And over here, ready to get started. Next up, we have a couple of Reaper Warload miniatures from the Dark Reach faction, the Shadow Demon and the Zeshan Night Creeper. And here we have something interesting. I have a box full of, let's see, they are miniatures from Cobblestone Castings, sculpted by Mark Cobblestone. These are from the range called Back and Beyond, which, as it says here, is the war in Central Asia, the great game in the 1920s. And Cobblestone is a company that makes several different ranges of minis that are divided by historical eras and context and settings. They're very specific. Like they have this one, which is, as it says, 1920s Asia. And a lot of different, but it's not just Asian miniatures, because in that time period, as the student of history will know, a lot of European actors were involved. So that provides a lot of typical adventuring type minis from the 1920s, which is excellent for Call of Cthulhu. I mean, they have other ranges. There's the gangster range, which might be useful if you're running Call of Cthulhu in Chicago or somewhere. And they have an African range, which is more Victorian. It's more 19th century. It's about colonialism and imperialism in Africa. So not quite in the period that I'm interested in. But anyway, I have a bunch of these, and I'll get started on them next. Yeah. Hopefully that will be fun. And this week I'm finishing up the video by showing you, yes, a Kickstarter. As you can tell from the logo, it's from Midland Miniatures. This was a Kickstarter called Servants of the Undead Pharaoh. And not all of them are actually undead. I think, yeah, here we have the Undead Pharaoh. We got the mummy and some of his servants. And I think most of the other minis are from previous similarly themed sets that I got as add-ons. I'm not sure what these are. This is some sort of, I think it's called a Sultan with a guard. See this dude lying on his carpet, and he's got some sort of big cat there, and he's got a guy to fan him, and the like. And oh yes, here's a snake charmer. No naked slave girls. they're progressive that way. And these guys just look like some sort of cards or adventurers or something. Maybe they're undead. I can't really tell. I'm not wearing my glasses. Maybe you can see it in the video. Anyway, that was the episode for this week. Episode 11-1, as I said. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Click like if you did. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Comment if there's something you particularly caught your eye. And I will see you next week. Until then, I'm Dakia, and I'm signing off.